Verbs are pretty much the engine of every single sentence we use. But here's the thing, not all of them do the same job. Today, we're going to break down the 5 main types of verbs, from transitive to non-finite, and trust me, once you get these, grammar's going to feel a whole lot easier. So let's dive right in. All right, first things first, we've got to understand the core concept of a verb. Before we jump into all the different kinds, we really need a solid foundation. What is a main verb actually doing in a sentence? Let's figure that out.
So let's kick things off with a big question. Do all verbs really do the same thing? The short answer? Nope, not at all. And honestly, that's where a lot of the confusion with grammar comes from. But once you see that different verbs have different jobs, everything starts to make a lot more sense.
Okay, so think of it like this. Every sentence has an engine, right? Well, that engine is the main verb. It's the one word that tells you what's actually happening. It could be an action, like jump or think, or it could be a state of being, like is or seems. This idea is our starting point for everything else.
Okay, let's get into our first pair, transitive and intransitive verbs. Now, the main difference between these two, it really just boils down to one simple question. Does the action need to get passed on to something else? And here it is, side by side. A transitive verb, it's kind of like throwing a ball. The action has to go somewhere, right? It needs an object. But an intransitive verb, that's more like running. The action is totally complete all by itself. It doesn't need an object at all. So let's zoom in on transitive verbs for a second. The key word here is transfer. A transitive verb literally transfers its action to an object. If you don't have that object, the whole sentence just feels, incomplete, like it's left hanging.
He eats rice.
See, the action here is eats, but that action is being done to something, the rice. The rice is our object. If you just walked up to someone and said, he eats, their first thought would be, eats, what? And that little question, that need for an object, is exactly what makes a verb transitive.
Okay, now for the other side of the coin, the intransitive verb. This guy's totally self-sufficient. The action it's describing doesn't need a target, doesn't need a recipient, it's completely fine all on its own.
For example, take a look at this sentence. He runs fast.
Notice anything? There's no object here getting the action. He isn't running a marathon or running a company. The word fast doesn't receive the action, it just tells us how he runs. It's an adverb. The action is finished, complete, which makes runs an intransitive verb, simple as that.
All right, moving on to our next category, the linking verb. You can think of this one as a connector, or maybe like an equal sign, or even a bridge in the sentence. While transitive verbs are all about transferring action, linking verbs are about making a connection. So what does it do? Well, instead of showing an action, a linking verb connects the subject, the person or thing the sentence is about, to another word that either describes it or identifies it. That other word is called the complement. A classic example is this: she is beautiful. Think about it. She's not really doing anything in that sentence, is she? The word is doesn't show any action. It just works like an equal sign. It's saying she equals beautiful. It connects the subject, she, to her description, beautiful. That's the whole job of a linking verb. Okay, we're on to our final pair, and this one's a little different. We're looking at finite and non-finite verbs. And this distinction is all about one thing. Does the verb change its form, or does it stay the same no matter what? So here's the deal. A finite verb is limited or tied to its subject and tense. That means it has to change its spelling to match them. But a non-finite verb, it's not limited at all. Its form stays exactly the same, no matter what the subject or tense is doing.
Just look at these examples. He goes versus they go.
See how the verb changed? The base verb is go, but it had to become goes to agree with the singular subject he. Because it's limited by that subject, it has to change. That makes it a finite verb. Now, compare that to verb forms like to read or reading. These guys are non-finite. It doesn't matter if you say he likes to read or they like to read, the to read part never ever changes. Its form is totally fixed. It's not limited by the subject, and that's what makes it non-finite. And there you have it. Those are the 5 key types of main verbs. So, as they say, now it's your turn. Let's do a super quick recap just to lock all this in. Okay, quick review. Transitive verbs, they need an object to transfer their action to. Intransitive, they're totally fine on their own.
Linking verbs, they're like an equal sign, connecting the subject to its description. Finite verbs, they change based on the subject and tense. And non-finite verbs, they stay the same always.
All right, to finish things up, I've got a little challenge for you. Take a look at this sentence. The bird sings a sweet song. What kind of verb is sings? Ask yourself, is that action, sings, being transferred to an object? Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next one.